Hi guys, and welcome to another episode on the channel here. Thank you for joining me. Please remember to subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more about gaming and how-to videos and things like that, technology videos, all of that kind of stuff. Please remember to subscribe and also to like the video if you do enjoy yourself. Now, today I wanted to talk a little bit about the news that's going around about Xbox and PlayStation and all that kind of thing going on. There is a lot in the news. There's been lots going on for a long time about new consoles coming out and things like that. And I wanted to just go through some of that kind of thing, the news that's been coming out, because, you know, I used to write for gaming websites many years ago, and I've always followed games and gaming consoles right the way back to the Sega Mega Drive. So it's something that's always interested me, and I've always wanted to talk about it on the channel when I've spoken previously about the PlayStation 5. So I thought I'd have a little bit of a sum up about some of the news that's going on regarding the consoles at the moment. Now, let's start with Xbox. They haven't had what I would say the best kind of year or couple of years ever since the Xbox One S came out and the Xbox One X. They haven't really, I don't think personally, this is my own point of view, I don't think they've really done themselves a lot of justice with those consoles. They could have been so much better than they were. The games, I think, were a little bit lacking in some respects, and I think it upset some hardcore gamers, hardcore Xbox fans. And if you look on YouTube, you'll see a number of Xbox fans who have said things about the fact that games aren't coming out as quickly as they want, the games quality aren't as good as they think they should be. And I think that it's just, Xbox have kind of gone off the boil a little bit in terms of their focus on what they want. Now, they are doing things about it. They've acquired some game studios, which hopefully is going to be a good thing. But my own personal view, and this is my own personal view, I do wonder whether they are perhaps spreading themselves a little bit too thin, because obviously they have the console gamers, and the ones that want to play the Xbox, the ones that want to play games on the Xbox, and they've also got PC gamers, which they have to do stuff for as well. I mean, obviously they don't have to do stuff for PC gamers, but, you know, if they're playing games on their hardware, they're going to want to capitalise on that, and so they want to create games for PC gamers. Are they perhaps a little bit conflicted as to where they want to go? Do they want to go for PC gamers, or do they want to go for Xbox gamers? Are these studio acquisitions for the Xbox, or are they for the PC games? You know, I know that a lot of them switch between one and the other, and some are ported onto the consoles and vice versa, but it just seems to me as though whether Microsoft are a little bit unsure where they want to go, what their direction is going to be. E3, they've said there's going to be a big E3 for them. I think there's going to be a new console coming out. They obviously did announce the Xbox One S all digital console a few days ago, which I think was a bit of a disaster. I think public wise, a lot of people didn't see the point of it. I personally don't see the point of it either. I think that they, you know, it was basically an Xbox One S without the hard drive, and I think they could have perhaps done it slightly differently. Maybe if they had decided to release an all digital version of the next console, the next generation one, if they had released an all digital version of that, perhaps slightly cheaper, rather than rehash the Xbox One S as an all digital device. Also, 1 terabyte hard drive, that's not a lot. You know, if you're dealing with digital games, if you're downloading games, that's not a huge amount to be relying on. So there's a couple of issues there, I think, with that console that is concerning a lot of people, and rightly so in some ways. I mean, you know, Xbox has the potential to be huge in terms of the games it creates. You know, they've got the most powerful console in the world. You would think that they would be wanting to absolutely hone in on that and capitalise on that what they have there. Of course, you know, they do have a lot of good games on the Xbox, and some of them are really good. Some of them, you know, people have said aren't quite so good, but they have a lot of potential there. And I think if E3 is going to be as big as Microsoft has said it's going to be, then I think we could see a lot of good new games coming out. Perhaps also a good new console coming out, which is touted to be again faster than PlayStation 5. So there is a lot to look forward to and a lot of hope out there. Hopefully it will answer a lot of the questions that a lot of Xbox One owners are having at the moment. Now let's go over to PlayStation. Now PlayStation, by comparison, have had a really good time. You know, the PlayStation 4 has done really well. They've brought up some really good games over the last couple of years or so. They've had a really good E3 last year. This year, they're not going to E3, and I mentioned that in a previous video if you want to check that out. They're not going to E3 this year, and some people were a bit shocked by that. Personally, I think it actually frees them up a lot, because there's maybe a lot of things they want to talk about. The new console, obviously, new games coming out, and if you're relying on E3, then you know, in some ways you're trying to keep all that news, all that information together for E3, when other consoles and other gaming manufacturers are trying to do the same thing. This, by not being there, allows them the freedom to announce things when they want. They can tease stuff when they want. They can perhaps get ahead of the game in terms of Microsoft, because I'm sure there's going to be another big announcement coming out from PlayStation before E3 and before Microsoft's conference. So I think that it was probably a wise decision for PlayStation. Nintendo haven't really been there for a number of years. They've done their Treehouse thing, but they haven't really been there for a number of years. And PlayStation are obviously now decided to do the same sort of thing. Maybe Xbox will do the same next year. Who knows? But I think for them, you know, they've really been hitting the ground running lately. They've come out with some really good games. They've got the Xbox Pro, the Xbox 4, Xbox, what was it about? The PlayStation 4 Pro, I should say, which, although not as powerful as the Xbox One X, is a good game, is a good console, and hopefully, you know, with the new PlayStation 5 coming out, the specs that they've got on there, which are very, very good specs, and it's certainly going to be a very fast machine. Some people are saying not going to be as fast as the new Xbox, but it's going to be a solid state drive, which if the new Xbox doesn't have, is going to be a big advantage, because it's going to be a lot faster in load times. And also it will probably be slightly cheaper, because the Xbox One, the new one, is meant to be even faster than the PlayStation 5, which means it's more than likely going to be a lot more expensive. So they're probably going to be a cheaper option for a lot of people. And also, with the way that Xbox are going at the moment, are people going to start shifting themselves to PlayStation? Possibly not. It depends, I think, on E3 and the announcements that you're making in a couple of weeks' time. I think a lot of people are waiting for E3 to see where they're going to go. If Microsoft don't come out with anything really impressive, I think we're going to see a lot more people perhaps switching over to PlayStation, especially with the announcement of the PlayStation 5, which would be a shame, but it could be the writing on the wall for them, unfortunately. The big, I think, well, I say the big outsider, but the one that really gets me the most is Nintendo. You know, they are really, really capitalizing on this kind of war between PlayStation and Xbox. They've come up with a Nintendo Switch, which is you know, so typical of Nintendo. It's a handheld console. It's really versatile, a lot more powerful than some of the other the handhelds they've had before. There's rumours they're coming out with a couple of versions, new versions of the Switches to come out, a big version and a smaller version. All of these things, I think, is putting Nintendo in a really good position, because they are, again, catering to the family market and the fun market. And they've got some really good games on the Switch, and they've got some more games coming out in the future, which are also going to be great. I think really they are really reaffirming their position again. They kind of started to lag a little bit behind with the Wii and the Wii U. Obviously the Wii was huge. The Wii U wasn't quite as popular, and I think that a lot of people felt that they were lagging behind a little bit of Xbox and PlayStation. But they really come through again now, and they're really using the Switch in a great way to make some fantastic games. And, you know, they are they are doing what Nintendo always do, and that is something a little bit different to what Xbox and PlayStation do. You know, they don't tend to follow the crowd. They tend to do their own thing, and very often it works. And I think in the Nintendo Switch, it is working. You know, they are catering to a market that really wants to have fun and wants to play games as a family, or, you know, kids that just want to have a little bit of fun. You know, the Nintendo Labo, for example, it's a really simple idea, but it works, and it's been very popular. So I think, you know, Nintendo are the dark horse here, and I think that with the Switch they've got a great opportunity to build on their platform and to build a lot more in their portfolio, and I think they are really the dark horses out of these three. I really do hope that Xbox can recover from this. I hope that they can really become competitive again, because we need to have a competitive Xbox. I think Nintendo do their own thing. You know, they don't do necessarily what the others are doing, which is great for people, but I think there needs to be an Xbox and a PlayStation at loggerheads, head to head, working things out together, because that makes the consoles better, it makes the games better, and that's better for gamers. So, you know, if Xbox start to dwindle and PlayStation becomes even more dominant, then there's a risk that they will become complacent, and I think it's important therefore that we have both, and they're both really strong and they're both really competitive. And that's basically it. I just wanted to kind of sum up what was going on, talk about all the consoles and where they are right now. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a like. Please comment on what you think about the consoles, how you think that's going to go with E3, what you think the future of Xbox is going to be. Also, please like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. It would really help out the channel a great deal. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.